Hey everybody, welcome back to Roleplay Blades, going into our third hour here, and we are in downtime. Gonna move on to phase 2 and 3 and 4 of downtime. Phase 2 is heat. After a score or a conflict with an opponent, the crew takes heat. And the heat is based on the nature of the score. So we characterize the operation. Was it smooth and quiet with low exposure? Was it contained operation with standard exposure? Was it loud and chaotic with high exposure? Or was it a wild, crazy, devastating thing?
I feel like it was very contained, John.
I do too, actually. Yeah. In fact, I mean, so this is important. So we're going to set kind of a precedent here.
I just love that you use his first name. I think it was very contained, John.
So we're setting a precedent for you guys moving forward. We can always revise like what constitutes quiet, what constitutes loud, right? We don't have to hold it forever, but it cuts both ways. So like if this was smooth and quiet, for instance, which I think I could kind of see because you did it, legally, you essentially like had a proxy. It means that when your enemies do operations, they'll be judged by the same standards in terms of how much heat they attract and how much trouble they get into with the blue code. So if someone else did this to you, if it's worth 1 heat for you, it's worth 1 heat for them. So that's the world that we're playing in. So I could see it either way. I could see 1 or 2 here as the base heat, and it's up to you guys. Like if you want what you guys did last time to count as 2 because you feel like that's the right level set, then I'm fine with that. But if it's 1, then I'm fine with that too.
The reason I like
10.
It's like 1, 2, 4, 6 as the base, and then there's some modifiers that we'll do after that.
Okay.
The reason I know this sounds like I'm lawyering or something like that because a 1 is obviously the best choice for us, but I actually do feel like it's a 1. It feels like a lot of people would come away from that feeling like they had witnessed a very legal, contracts are drawn up, as you said, very straight up duel. The reason it went down might be a little bit weird. That's why I'm totally okay with it being a 1, because some people might be like, there's a woman in there with him and there's people floating around him, but I would say even if we had done a better job and weren't there, it'd be like a 0 to me. Like, so it's 0 to 1 in my opinion. I think so. It's hard to imagine a quieter killing, right? Like I guess the quieter one is the one that's it's invisible. Yeah. So I'm fine with 1 if you guys are fine with 1. Then we add +1 heat if the target was high profile or well connected, which I think certainly applies to a magistrate of the city. Yeah, he was. Then we add +1 heat if the operation went down on hostile turf, which it didn't. That mostly applies to like enemy factions and things. If you go do stuff on their territory, it's worse heat for you. Okay. Which we haven't gotten into yet. And then add +1 heat if you're at war with another faction, which you're not. And add +2 heat if killing was involved. Which it was. It was, yeah.
Well, but we didn't kill anyone.
Exactly.
Our crew didn't kill anyone.
Yeah.
Someone else killed someone, and we just happened to be at the same party.
If killing was involved, you get +2 heat. And the reason for that is that because ghosts are such a big threat, when there's a dead body, it mobilizes this extra layer of law enforcement attention. The spirit wardens always get involved. They have to justify their paperwork to their bosses and shit. They have to have a good reason for everything, blah, 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 blah. So it's not directed on you. It's just like the general heat level, right?
Dead body existed.
A dead body existed. Their spirit wardens interviewing people, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, it's like Minority Report.
Yeah, exactly.
They just like swoop in and they're like, what happened here? Okay.
So that's 4 to start. Then during the operation, you guys accrued +3 heat is what I have in my notes. I have a 0 there, John. Yeah, I thought you might have 0, which is why I went ahead and wrote it down because I thought you might.
Well, I honestly
thought we had 1.
So
remember some of it from like desperate actions or something.
Yeah, you had 1 action that was a +1 and 1 action that was a +2. So that gives you a total of 7 heat.
Jesus fuck.
It's kind of a lot.
Yeah, for such a successful mission, that seems like a high amount of heat.
It is, yeah. And it basically what this is saying is like when you go into Brightstone and arrange for the murder of a magistrate, like people really care. And it's not necessarily that they're all looking for you, but it means the heat on the street for you doing further stuff is elevated. Shit is more.
Right.
It's in the papers, you know. In the papers, it's like, you know, slaying, dueling, blah blah blah. Like everything is presented as a duel. But then there's, you know, there's little mentions about like everyone said that the magistrate had been challenged many times by Lord King Claith and had turned him down.
Mm-hmm.
It seems, you know, there's like there's questions, there's all that kind of stuff. So let me open up your character sheet here and keep track so we don't lose the thread here. Crew sheet.
Yeah, where does that go?
So if you open the crew sheet, on the page at the top there's a heat tracker. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Dang, that's almost maxed. How
And
is
Yeah, so
Just so you know, I added the 2 coins or 2 coin from the payment, and everybody else adds 1 coin to their personal character sheet.
nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
What do we start with? Is it 1 coin?
we
start
started
with?
with 2.
Start with 2.
So we all should have 3, and some people have more.
No.
No.
The crew starts with 2. You guys individually don't start with any.
Oh, so we just have 1.
We each just have one.
You each have 1. Yeah, you all spent your personal money to like get the crew going and start your stuff.
Cool.
So yeah, you have 7 out of 9 heat. 7 of 9. When you
Damn.
when you fill the heat tracker, it's kind of like stress. You get, instead of getting trauma, your crew gets a wanted level.
Mm-hmm.
And then your heat goes away. And having a wanted level basically means that there's actually someone wants to arrest a member of your crew for something. They have evidence for something. It may not be a murder, but they have evidence for an arrest. So your wanted level, if you keep it, well, unlike trauma, wanted level isn't permanent. You can actually get rid of it. But if you keep it, every time you interact with the law, the level of response they bring is equal to your wanted level, because now you're on their radar. Now they know you're dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
So at level 1, you're going to get not just like one guy knocking on your door. They're going to like send a squad of dudes to deal with you because they know you're trouble. And when you're one at level 2, it'll be 2 squads. When you're one at level 3, it'll be a company of guys with pikes and rifles. And when you're one at level 4, it's like stars in GTA, right?
Yeah.
You're like building everything. To get rid of wanted level, you can send someone to prison, either voluntarily or by getting captured.
No,
And the length of your prison stay is determined by the wanted level. So when it's 1, it's just a few weeks maybe or something. When it's 2, it's more, and so on. And that reduces your wanted level by 1 every time that happens. Or you can frame someone for it, and your wanted level goes down.
We're gonna do that one, John.
before we
that
get
one.
a wanted level.
Sorry, Ann, say that
How
again.
do we clear the heat before we get a wanted level?
So during downtime, everyone gets 2 downtime actions like for free, and then you can pay for more. You can spend one of your downtime actions and say, I want to reduce our heat. And then you can go do a thing, and we'll talk about that, how you reduce your heat. It's basically like your vice for your crew. Like you do a thing to bring the heat down. So yeah, that's it. It was a lot of heat, and again, it was kind of like, because you guys are tier 0, and you're just dipping your toe into the world. You went into the place where people feel really safe, and things go the way they're supposed to go, and strange killings don't happen at parties in these people's lives. Even though it was a duel and it was totally legit, like they're freaked out by what happened at the party, and so the heat is like through the roof. Okay, so that's heat, and then entanglements there's phase 3 of downtime. After a payoff, roll or choose an entanglement according to your level of heat plus your wanted level. You guys have wanted 0, so there's 3 different columns of possible entanglements, and they get worse as you go up the columns. You guys are currently at level 6+, so you're in the far right column of possible things.
Motherfucking rolled. We never choose, John.
So yeah, I am gonna roll for this one.
Yeah, you said choose, and I was like, are you serious, dude?
No.
There are cases, like every now and then in the game, it'll be totally obvious what the entanglement should be, and you just be like, no, it's just this one. It clearly should be this one. So you have that option, but I like to roll. Rolling's more fun. So let's roll a d6. And so just so you guys know, like this is a kind of an optional thing. I can do this behind my hypothetical GM screen and smirk evilly at you and write down the entanglement that I got, and then bring it into play as a little surprise later
You know
on.
what?
That's
Can we
one way
just
to
do
play the
that?
game. That's
Can we
one
do
way to play the game. Yeah. If you guys are into it, I can do it that way, or I can roll it out in the open, and you guys can see what
I
it
like
is.
the mystery, guys. Do you like the
Um,
mystery?
It's up to you. I'm fine either way.
Sure.
The only argument I would have against mystery, because I personally Zeke would love the mystery of it, but are we denying like the audience something?
Maybe. Yeah. I guess. I mean, I could roll.
I trust us not to act on knowledge we don't have.
Well,
I
it's the
could-
same
I
boat
think-
as us. It's fun to find out.
Yeah.
Okay.
That will
Oh,
get
yeah, same mystery. Okay, sounds good.
Chat is saying mystery. Yeah.
All
If you
right.
guys,
Yeah.
Fine to me
a
then.
JP slogan is "fuck the chat" too. To be honest with you.
that is his slogan. There's probably a way in
So we should
Roll20
tell
where I
them.
could roll where you guys can't see it, but
Yeah.
I don't know
Yeah.
how to do that.
It's
Okay.
like /GM roll. Oh my God. I'm pretty
Is-
sure. Try it with the D6 just to be sure.
Is it /GM roll really?
Yeah. DM roll, I think.
Oh, DM roll. Okay.
Watch it just show us.
So if you see it, it doesn't count. We're gonna keep the mystery. We're just
Yeah.
gonna do it. Oh, unrecognized command DM roll.
Oh shit.
Wait.
GM roll.
Wait.
D6.
maybe it's GM roll.
Oh, it is GM roll. My bad. God, I was.
Oh, but it shows
GM
it
roll.
on, it shows it on stream though.
Oh, that's me, but I rolled to the GM. That's why.
Oh, you rolled to the
Yeah,
GM.
so yeah. So
Well.
maybe
Oh yeah. Okay.
gonna have to get out them real dice.
I got this thing right here.
Yeah.
I'm ready. I'm ready to go. I'm gonna roll, and then I'm gonna smirk evilly, and I'm gonna make a note. It's gonna be good radio. Okay. D6. And honestly, knowing the possible outcomes here is totally in character. So it's okay if you want to look and see like what the possible things are, because you guys know as underworld people, you know what's likely to come for you. But which one it is will be a mystery. So here we go. All right, I got my die.
Dude, I see demonic notice on that list. Like,
Demonic notice is on that list. It sure
Yeah.
is. Okay.
No, but that's for that you gotta have a wanted level for that, right?
Yeah.
no,
Because we're level 0 right now, right?
So the column I roll on is your current heat level plus your wanted level. So since your heat is
Wanted level just adds +1, or
Yeah.
is your wanted one?
Yep.
So
Oh,
heat
so
matters
what-
the whole
that's-
thing.
Yeah, the difference is that the wanted levels stick around. So like they're always like if your wanted level goes up to 3, you're going to be adding 3 to this
Shit.
every time.
It wasn't possible to downgrade our heat before that roll, was it?
No, you have to have the entanglement, and then
Okay,
that's how it goes.
that's how it goes, guys.
Yep,
how it goes.
So you rolled for that third column.
I did.
Okay.
I got one of those.
Framing the entanglement and drawing less heat next time. Right back at you, John.
Oh, I hope it's flipped so we can give some snitches some stitches.
Fun. So I bring that entanglement into play when I have an opportunity. It may be during downtime. Characters are vulnerable when they indulge their vices and that kind of thing, or maybe during a score even. It's up to me. Sometime in the next phase, I'll bring it into play.
Great.
Okay, so that's done. And finally, downtime. So your crew's at your liberty between scores. Lady Iramina told you that she wasn't on a particular timeline. She implied that she doesn't like to be made to wait, but she also seemed to understand that these things can't be rushed. So you kind of have no particular rush. You have time for downtime. There could be cases where that wouldn't be true, but this particular situation allows for downtime. So each character may pursue 2 downtime activities for free. If you want to do more than that, you can. You have to pay for them in one of 2 ways. You recover all of your armor uses. If anyone used armor on the score, which you didn't, I don't think.
Yeah.
Get that back. Then you're going to choose. There's a list here of downtime actions to choose from on the handout. If you're seeing what I'm talking about there's a downtime handout in Roll20, or it's on page 37 of the PDF, game PDF.
Mhm.
So the actions are Vice. You indulge your Vice to clear stress. Recover. You get treatment and remove your level 1 harm and heal any more nasty wounds with recovery. You can work on a long-term project. Either one you've already created, or you can create a new one and then also work on it during the same activity. And those long-term projects are kind of like the creative game-breaking part of the game, where you can, I don't know, like characters have to retire when they take their last point of trauma. Someone can be like, I want to work on a long-term project to remove trauma from people, or whatever. Like you can come up with crazy shit, or it can just be very reasonable, mundane things like, I want to lead on where Lord Skurlock lives. Like that'd be a thing you could work on. You can acquire an asset. That's a downtime activity. You reach out to your connections in the underworld, and you might want to hire a gang to go rough some people up with you. You might want to acquire some fine piece of equipment that you need for a particular job, a boat or something. You might acquire invitations to somewhere that you want to go. Then you can train. That's a downtime activity. You basically just get to a point of XP to put wherever you want. You can gather information in downtime, which you can also do normally, not in downtime. But during downtime, when you gather info, you have extra time. You're not under pressure. There's no bad outcomes. You basically can study something, or you can go case a place that you might want to go to, or learn stuff about a NPC, those kind of things. And then finally, you can reduce heat. You tell me what type of action you want to take to reduce the heat. You make a roll, and then you reduce heat based on how well you roll.
Great.
I'll go first.
All right. What do you got, Jeff?
I want to reduce heat.
Yeah, I thought you might. How does Careless Firm reduce heat on the crew?
So this is where I get narrative, and I just look at my various different.
Yeah, look at your actions and see what jumps out at you.
Is it possible to use Pro S here?
Yeah, so Prowess is like it's your attribute. You could theoretically use it, but
So more likely resolve is what you're saying.
normally you're going to choose one of the actions under those,
Like finesse.
like finesse or sway or command or whatever.
Yeah.
You're going to pick one of those.
I'll use command then. Like
Mhm.
narratively speaking, I just kind of, again, you let me know if I'm on base or off base here with this, but
Sure.
like I have a person that I know that works within the law, and I'm just like, you gotta draw attention with this.
Yeah. Okay. So you know a guy who isn't particularly friendly or unfriendly. I think you guys have a -1 with the blue coats as a faction. So by default, they're like not interested in helping you.
Mhm.
But at level 2, they become actually hostile. At -1, they're just like, fuck off, leave us alone. Like, give me a break. You go away. So yeah, I think command is the right approach. Like, you're going to actually like lean on
Mhm.
this guy. His name's LaRose. He's a beat cop in, well, let's see. He's a beat cop in Crowsfoot, which is the district just to the west of you. The Brightstone cops are like high tier, serious cops. But over in Crowsfoot, it's all run by street gangs, and the cops there are like much more open to talking to criminals.
Maybe he has like a bet or gamble, not a gamble, but he has like a debt over someone that's in the appropriate district, and I'm just like, yeah, you got to pull your favor.
Cool. Yeah, he totally could. Yeah, or he might know a cop in Brightstone that he could call in a favor with or something like that.
Okay.
Can I tie my downtime activity to Careless's?
Totally. Yes.
I would like to train to get 1 XP, but I'm moving because I'm upping my resolve so I can get 1 more point in command.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm hanging out with him, I learn how to talk to people more successfully. Maybe with less brute force and more, wheedling and that kind of thing.
I love it. That's perfect. Yeah. Okay. You go on a training mission with Mr. Firm and see how it's done.
And also, I know like the cops and the Lost are my like 2 factions that I know about. Like one is a rival and one is, a friendly kind of a thing. So I can possibly point them out to the right people and whatnot.
I think you know LaRose for sure. You grew up probably in the Crowsfoot area.
Okay.
You and Rune both like know all the street gangs there. The Leaky Bucket is there where Anne goes for her fix for her drugs. Yeah, LaRose has probably thrown you in the slammer a few times during your life for various offenses, and also looked the other way a few times in your life for various offenses.
Well, let me play this out if you don't mind.
Yeah, totally.
So I hear about what Careless is doing, and would it be all right if I tagged along with you? I know a few of these people, and I think I might be able to help a little bit.
Absolutely. I'd be happy if you did.
All right, then. That's that.
Nice.
I just basically wanted to ask Jeff's permission if, like, come on.
So let's just do a little moment. Like, you're going to make the roll here. Although you point him out, the Rose is on the corner, down on the north side of Crowsfoot, across the bridge from the docks. He's leaning up against a lamppost. He like pats around in his coat for smokes, and his partner like nudges him like, I'll do it. And he walks over to Market Stall to get some smokes, and he's alone for a moment. So the two of you approach him, and he immediately recognizes Aldo, and then like in the darkness, like the lamp is like casting a harsh shadow down your face there, Jeff. So he doesn't quite like make out your Taikarosi features, but he rolls his eyes a little when he sees Aldo coming, and he's just like, "Oh, not tonight, not tonight. Keep on walking, keep on walking."
I think you can just see my big smile. Go ahead.
Come on now. I just want to introduce you to a friend of mine, Careless. And I'm sorry, what was his name one more time?
LaRose.
Thank you. Careless, LaRose, Careless.
LaRose, it is so nice to meet you. Before I shake your hand, it looks like you need a light. And I kind of pull out a lighter, but I also have like this really gnarly knife in my hand, and I'm like making a show of trying to get and I just shrug, and I just go to light his cigarette with the knife, just a reverse grip in my hand. And
Nice. He gets a little nervous. He's not fool enough, especially he knows Aldo. He doesn't know you, but he knows Aldo enough to know that sudden movements might land him at the Physicers for a month. So he just holds real still, and he's wearing his like blue coat overcoat. It's unbuttoned, and underneath his pistol is there on his belt, and he's got like a bandolier with his sword hanging. His hand goes down towards where the gun is, but he just leans over and accepts the smoke.
Yeah, because my hand and the knife is right next to his face.
Yeah, it's like right up by his face, and he is like not totally a pushover, so he does drop his hand, but he doesn't make any threatening moves. But he puffs, and he tries to play cool. He leans back against the post, and he's like, "Whatever it is, I'm not interested. So fuck off."
And I think after
like spits a little cigarette ash.
Yeah, I light it, and then I kind of like start twirling the knife around and like dance around my knuckles a little bit, and it just slides down my. I just like sheath it behind me or whatever, and look at him, and I go, LaRose, before we go any further, I really must shake your hand. My name is Careless Firm. You're LaRose. It's so nice to meet you. And I stick my hand out.
Aldo, is your friend hard of hearing or what? Turn on your heel and I'll pretend like this never happened. Now fuck off.
Oh, LaRose. I'm going to say a few words, and after I do it, it's really important that you shake my hand. This doesn't have to go poorly. This can go very straight. You have a debt with someone. Do you want to give me a name, John, or should I just make up a name?
Yeah, let me give you, I have a cop name here. Is that what you're looking for, a cop?
Yeah, exactly.
You would have heard of a cop named Rafe. Rafe he's always got his fingers in pies, especially in Brightstone.
Okay. Wraith or Rafe?
Rafe, like Rafe Fiennes, Rafe with an F, Rafe.
Okay.
As in Fox.
Rafe owes you some money, right? Is that the right?
Yep.
Yes. Rafe owes you some money. You are going to call in that debt and favor, and you're going to get a little bit of heat off of me and my group. And as such, I am not going to find your daughter and make sure that she does not make her way home.
Let's make that command roll now.
He's helping her. It's just 3 dice. Right?
Sorry?
I have a 2 in command, and
2 in command.
Aldo is helping me, so it's
Yes.
3 dice, right?
Aldo can assist you by taking 1 stress.
Done.
Would you
and
call
then-
this a desperate one, John?
I would
Okay.
call it.
I'm
a
going to
desperate
push
roll.
myself
So
on stress as well then.
there's a provision. So no, often when you reduce heat, you just take the outcome of your roll. It's not desperate or controlled or risky. It's just a roll to see how much heat you reduce. Because of your particular approach here, and because the blue coats are not your friends, you don't really have easy access to them. There's a provision in the game for like dangerous downtime moves. And I think you're making one, which just gives you XP, but it means that, there is actually a risk here. It is desperate.
So I don't take
So-
stress, or I do, but it's 4 dice, right?
You don't take stress. Aldo takes 1 to
So
give you
3
a bonus
dice
die.
then.
So you have 3 in command already, right?
I have 2 in command.
You have 2 in command. You get 1 from Aldo. That's 3 dice.
Okay.
So desperate with 1 bonus die is what you'll put into the box.
And you're not going to push yourself?
I can't, I guess.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, Jeff. You can push yourself if you want to. Yeah, you totally can.
You take a stress to do 4 dice? Yeah, I'm going to do that.
Take 2 stress for 4 dice.
That's right. It's 2 for 1.
All right. Sure, I'll do that after this. It's 4 dice. I've rolled as high as a 4, guys. I'm really looking for that 5 or 6.
Big 6.
5.
5.
Hey,
All
All
right.
right. All
not a
right.
4.
It's not a 6 in there. That's okay.
You did roll 6 dice.
I don't know why I did that. I definitely put in 4, but whatever.
That's the last one.
I think if you put in, it's already accounting for your command number, so
Oh,
Like-
on top of that is what
Yeah.
it
it's on top of that. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
My bad.
Yeah. That's okay. That's okay.
The first dice is a 5, which is my highest. So.
It actually has never helped you guys by having extra dice, so it's fine. It's fine.
Okay.
Yeah. So you reduce heat by 5 is 2 heat. You reduce the heat by 2.
Okay.
That's good.
Down to 5.
Better than making the heat worse.
Did you want to role play the rest of that scene, John, or should we just be like, everything's fine and great?
Yeah, I think you talk about his daughter. He glances over. He sees that his partner isn't even at that stall. He like walked off somewhere else to get the smokes he wants, and so he doesn't have any backup. And he gives you this like really steely look, like I'm gonna fucking remember you.
Can't see my face though, John. It's just a smile.
Then I'll remember that. Whatever I got.
That's fine.
But he swallows hard and stamps out the cigarette, and like, so you can see him. He doesn't walk across the bridge north to the docks. He walks east towards Brightstone where Rafe works, and like makes a beeline in that direction. Like, he doesn't say anything. He doesn't say yes sir, whatever you want. He just walks off, like going to do it. Yep. Okay.
I think as he walks off, I kind of like lean back into Aldo, and I'm like, Aldo, it's so important to remember that you have a target and there are buttons on this target. You have to push the right one. Now with him, I actually didn't know which button to push, so I just kind of jammed all of them. But the end result is that we got what we needed.
Right. That you see, the button I would have pushed is the button right here. Right here. I would have pushed those buttons. I probably would have got a different result. So let's see. It's very nice. Thank you very much.
Different
Take it
approaches.
long. Glad I could introduce you.
Hopefully I can learn a thing or two from you as well.
And I removed the heat, John.
You what?
I removed the 2 heat for that on the sheet.
Oh, you did. Okay, thank you. Yes, appreciate it.
And then just to wrap up my downtime, I have one more action, correct?
I have to say one thing to you, Jeff.
Go
So
for it.
you had a consequence for your desperate roll because you got a 5.
Okay.
So I've made a new clock called Blue Coat's status.
Okay.
You guys are at -1 right now. What you just did there isn't enough to tip you down to -2. That would be really mean for me to be like, now it's -2. Fuck you. But you went to a blue coat and threatened their child. So I made a clock. I put 1 tick in it, and if that fills up, then you guys are going to drop down to -2 at the blue coats. They'll actually be hostile to you. They'll be looking for ways to fuck you guys over.
Okay.
You started that process.
Just fair play, John. I've made a clock for you as well. It is the
Good.
clock, and it's getting chock full of your bullshit.
Nice. I mean, I feel like it's my job to fill that clock as much as I possibly
many
can.
Fucking clocks and bars being filled.
I mean, if you want to go ahead and just fill it all the way up, that would be fine.
Let's do it. Episode 2. Shit hits the fan. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. So, and Zeke, you mark your XP because you were training with command with.
Yep.
Yep. So, Jeff, go ahead. What's
So
your
this could be fun to role play. I do have 6 on the stress-o-meter.
Mm-hmm.
And as I understand, the most I could reduce is 6, so I'm not at risk of overindulging, correct?
That is correct. Yes.
I would like to take a trip down Careless Firm's Vice Train.
Mm-hmm. I think we're all very curious to see what the fuck that is. On your character sheet, it says faith, I believe, is the type of vice you chose, but we don't know what that is yet. So do you want to paint a picture for us?
Yeah, I think shortly after coming back from dealing with LaRoche, I kind of walk in and I'm like, group of which we do not have a name yet. Thinking about that. I have to take a little bit of a trip. I'm a little bit stressed out, and I will be back tomorrow. It's a very short one. So if you need me tomorrow, I'll be back.
So hold on. We can do for our downtime, we can do a thing like one of the actions and a vice.
Yes, you can do 2 things for free.
Oh,
and you can do the same thing twice if you want to.
You can. Okay.
Yeah, it's fine to double up.
And I've actually been thinking a lot about this, John, but not too much to make it weird. So I describe what I think I'm going to be doing.
I would love for you to describe it. Yes, that'd be great.
Yeah, it's in your universe, but just let me know if you want to edit it, because like I said, this is
Sure.
your world. So I think he steps out, and it becomes a little bit of like almost like a strangely like American Psycho montage of like happy music, but obviously not happy scenes as he kind of whistles his way, down the street, around the corner, up so and so, and he meets with a person, and this person is like completely you don't see their face or anything like that. They're like sitting in a pew of a church of sorts. There are churches, right?
Yeah, there's like a state religion called the Church of the Ecstasy of the Flesh. There are people that basically hate the spirit world and think it's corrupt, and they believe that the life of the body is the important thing.
That makes perfect sense with what I'm about to say then. Careless kind of sits down next to this person. It's like obviously not worship hours or whatever. It's just this person, and there's like a few other people, and there's candles and shit. It's very morose. Sit down next to the person. The person's wearing nothing but a red cloak. Well, not cloak, more like hooded. It looks like garments, like religious garments. You can't see their face, and their hands are tucked in. And I sit down next to him, and I say, it's actually time. I need a little bit more time with our last subject. If I could do that, please. And the person just kind of like nods and gets up, and I follow them, and we go into some like back rooms. And in the back rooms, and one of them is it's like a really unimpressive room. But it's got a secret door kind of thing where it like pushes some bricks in. Not super awesome, magical, cool thing. It's like literally just on a spinner or whatever, but you'd have to be able to know what to push. Pushes through, and we kind of walk down. And about halfway down the wooden steps, you can hear like just agonizing moaning, like a person's just in a lot of pain down there. And then as we get halfway there, the person in the red cloak stops and pulls out from their like their hands come apart finally, and just hands me a little blade, like not a big nasty blade or anything like that, but just a little obscenely sharp scalpel almost type knife. And I say, thank you. This won't take very long. I don't have that much anxiety, but ever so little. And the person's like, fine. And they go up. They don't say anything, actually. They just kind of walk upstairs.
Yeah, totally.
And as I come around the corner, like 15 steps, there is a person that is attached to the wall, and this person doesn't have any eyes. They seem to have been cut out. They do still have their tongue, and they still do have their fingers, and otherwise there's just like slash marks up and down them that have then been patched close together. Because this is a world where if someone dies, it's made very aware. There's no way to hide it. Careless, as you can kind of begin to realize, is his belief and his way of releasing stress is to maim and disfigure people, but in a particular way, because you can only do that to someone for so long. So he immediately just like kind of like you can see him just kind of roll back his eyes, and he's just like looks like he's just about to really enjoy something. And he starts unbuttoning his shirt and takes it off, and he sets it down really nicely against a chair. There's only a chair in the room. There's a chair, this person, a candle. That's it. And he, as he takes off his shirt, you can see he's very athletic, very strong. But he has those red, like glowing tattoos, and they kind of go over his shoulders, over his chest. They're all over him, but not in like a cluttered zebra kind of way, but almost like a design. And he stands in front of the person and doesn't say anything. And then just very, very methodically, kind of like a person skinning an animal or something like that, cuts out the guy's tongue, like just saws it out. And then he starts to cut off the fingers as well and puts them in like he just leaves them on the floor. There's actually nothing there to store them or anything like that. And now this person has no eyes, no tongue, and no fingers. And he just kind of like sits in the chair for a minute and just like nods and like listens to the terrible moaning of the person. And then looks like he looks like he's like very accomplished and just like, okay. And he gets up and he walks out and then leaves the person behind.
All right, then.
All right.
After that one.
I'm not the messed up one, okay?
I'm not the messed up one.
I'm going to ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to ask you a question in Skype because you're a mystery man.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good question. Yeah. Why don't you describe, John, where the light is coming from? I think that's a good question.
So the Church of the Ecstasy of the Flesh has many secrets and many levels of membership and devotion that aren't sort of publicized to the general populace. And certain tiers touch on things perhaps long forgotten. It's presented as this very modern way of thinking to embrace the idea that being a ghost is bad, and it's good that the state disintegrates your body and your spirit when you die, because if you become a ghost, you'll haunt everyone you've ever cared for, and you'll only seek vengeance, and you'll drive them mad, and the life of the body is what matters. Physical experiences matter. Spiritual things are pointless. But like every religion, there are sects and branches that explore other ways of thinking about these things. And it just so happens that Careless Firm has come into contact with one of these branches within the church in Duskwall. And he's found a source, like a supply of these people to ply his dark trade on, willing participants, even people that have been selected or chosen or volunteered in some sense. But he's not a servant of the Church of the Ecstasy of the Flesh. And I think in the movie version of our game, we make that clear. As he's leaving the room, the room is lit, not by electric light, power cables running down into your secret torture chambers. It's an amateur mistake. You don't want to do that. So it's lit by these sconces on the wall. In this flickering red torchlight, we see behind, above, in an alcove over the head of the victim is a shrine to a goddess. Obviously, this It's made of obsidian, this black stone that's been beautifully carved and polished. It's the silhouette of this female form with the artist who made it. It tries to suggest smoky tendrils coming off of the body of the goddess, and a sconce behind her shows that they've cut holes in where her eyes should be on the statue, so that this flickering ember red light passes out of the statue, as if her eyes were made of burning coals. And it's very similar. Everyone watching the TV show at home can't help but think how similar it is to the being that Anne saw in her vision earlier in the episode. And then the door shuts behind, and the red-robed attendant silently passes you on the staircase going down to collect the acolyte as you leave the chapel.
That's how I relieve stress.
There you go.
What roll do I make?
So you're going to roll your lowest attribute, which I believe is 0. I don't think you have anything in insight. Is that right?
No.
So you're going to roll 0 dice, which I think it will let you do if you click on your insight. Or sorry, no, there's an Indulge Vice button on this character sheet now. It's a new thing that they added.
Oh, where's that?
It's very cool. It's over on the, you found it. Did you find it? No. It's on the part of your sheet where it says Vice. If you kind of scan to the right, there's a button there that says Indulge Vice. It's to the left of all of your gear.
Left of all of my gear.
Right under your background.
Okay. Well, how about oh, there it is. Never mind.
Yeah, just click that and it'll just do it.
Bonus dice 0?
Yep.
4.
Nice. You recover 4 stress. Oh, no, sorry. Sorry. You have 0 dice. My bad. You take the lower result when you have 0.
3.
Yeah, so you recover 3 stress.
How do I remove it then? Oh, right there. The X.
Yeah, just tick down on the little ticker there.
Oh, it just deleted all of it. But I think I had 6. Yeah, I had 6.
Yeah, you had
said
6.
That earlier.
That's
so
right.
I'm down to 3. Cool.
Cool.
Thank you.
Yep.
That's my downtime.
Nice. Who wants to follow that?
I
Wheat?
would also like to indulge in my vice.
Yeah.
And I am I was in a similar situation. I have 6 stress, so
Nice.
it only seems logical that Cataby would grab some coin and head to the local gambling den.
Absolutely. What are you favoring tonight? You going to play some cards? Is that your?
We're gonna definitely play some cards.
Nice.
There's some chumps at the poker table, and we're gonna go serve them. Yeah,
just over the river there, where Carolus and Aldo went to push LaRose around. The Crows, the gang, the Crows who run Crowsfoot, they're the big gang there. They have a lot of gambling dens that I'm sure that they know your face quite well. So you pick one that has got a soft card game on midday week, and go to relax.
Chat saying I can spend money to do one more thing, I guess.
You can, yeah, you can spend coin or 1 coin or 1 rep lets you do another downtime action.
What's a rep?
Your crew from your crew rep tracker.
Okay.
Yeah. So you're going to play, and let's see how it goes. I think unless you have an idea, it's nothing out of the ordinary for you during the game. Like, you ante up, you get your cards, you play, chat, you have some drinks, and it's a perfectly ordinary evening for your vice roll, and then I'm going to tell you something after that. But
yeah, I mean, I would say it's a pretty ordinary evening, other than the fact that any sight of Miss Cataby at a table with a bunch of other players is usually just an unusual sight in and of itself. You have this sort of, when she's at the table, you have this loud, obnoxious, constantly giving shit to the other players, as overconfident as one could be when playing cards. and it's always a spectacle. So like just like the beginning when Careless Firm Miss Cataby, there were, there's always a crowd of people sort of around to see what's going on at the action at the table.
Nice. It's not a low profile situation at all. You're
It's
the star of the
It's
show.
definitely not. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
So you just roll.
Yeah, I think so.
Now, yeah, it says the lowest of my.
Yeah, so apparently the character sheet designer has built in a button for this now. So
I just click it.
if you click Indulge Vice, it'll just handle that for you. It'll pick the right thing and roll it.
And 0 bonus dice. And
Boo! Yeah.
Yes.
Look at that shit.
Fuck yeah. Red bars. Goodbye. Stress free, baby.
Fully fucking recovered. Good night.
cards.
Yeah. Yeah, I think
probably give him another coin.
yeah, right. You actually had some winnings, maybe. You know what? I'm gonna roll. I'm gonna make a fortune roll. Let's see.
Oh shit.
Here we go. I'm gonna do it.
That's a good advice to have.
Fortune roll. Yeah, right. Because like Jeff earned XP by making a desperate roll when he did his thing. Like there's it's not just your downtime action. Other stuff can happen too. Let's call it gambling. And I'm gonna give it 2 dice. Let's see if you get a 6 here. Wait, we'll give you some winnings.
Double 6.
Oh. Oh well. That's all right. You end up with some silver coins to jingle in your pocket, but nothing that amounts to a whole coin worth of winnings.
Breaking even's good enough. So this
Yeah.
is practically a fortune.
Awesome.
Did you have an idea for your second action? I have a thought of something that might happen.
Well, I had an idea that originally involved potentially a double stress relieving adventure. However, I really feel like I would love to use gather info. I feel like it would just any prep we can do for this mission is probably appropriate. So
Yeah, totally.
So I want to spend a little bit of extra time gathering information, and I think it makes sense that I would probably try to gather information on Gustav Suker.
I agree. In fact, I had a thought for a little bit of some friction for you that may play directly into your gather info roll. So,
Well, do tell.
the way I'm picturing it is we see this look of elation on your face as you slam down the winning hand at the end of the evening, and everyone moans and they push their chips in, and you go over to the banker. They have a little like barred window in the back where you exchange your chips and get your coin. And as you're turning around, you're accosted Han Solo style by Greedo in the gambling den by an agent of Lord Suker's. This person is a freelancer that you've seen before. Let me find their name here in my list. Nope. Where are they? Lanik. Lanik is his name. You know Lanik as like an art forger,
Okay.
a grifter, a con artist. They're in the high society scene, like passing off shoddy forgeries as genuine, or buying real stuff for cheap because they're an expert and they know it's a fake, or all that kind of crap. And they're the kind of person that would do sleazy work for Suker. And they are like approaching you, and as you turn around, Lanik is this sort of portly gentleman with this curling mustache, and he wears a bowler hat and kind of a cheap suit, and he has a cane with a bird head on it, and he wraps you in the sternum. It's quite like a head taller than him, right? So he like raps you on the sternum and says, "Ah, Miss Cataby, fancy meeting you here."
And I like know this person.
Yeah,
right?
you know Lanik by reputation. You know that there is just a sleazy grifter in the underworld.
Lanik, I can't say the feeling's mutual.
You know, it's such a shame to see you. He says it's such a shame to have to deliver the news that I have. It seems like you're on such a high, but and he kind of eyes where you like you've put the coin away in your coin purse, and he slides the head of his cane down and jabs at the purse and says, "I figure that's just enough for me to forget that I saw you here with this money tonight. Suker doesn't need to know anything about it."
Well, I'm pretty sure Suker knows every little movement I make. In fact, what's a girl to do? I've got to make the money back somehow. You think perhaps coin just falls from the sky and be able to repay my debts?
He makes a big face. He's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry to offend you. I mean, of course you were going to take it directly to Lord Suker and pay off your debts. Forgive me for thinking so ill of you, Miss
Would you
Catherine."
like to escort me, perhaps? We'll take
You
it to
know?
him right now. I'm sure he'll be so happy to see half a coin coming to his way.
I think it's worth a lot more than that to him, and probably a lot more to you as well. I think you're getting off with a bargain, honestly.
I'll
And
tell you what.
he like starts to lift the thing with the head of his cane, like lift your purse off with it.
So I play along and say, I'll give you the bag, but I expect a writ that says it's gonna go towards my debt.
Oh, but you've misunderstood me. This is just it's a service fee, I guess you'd call it, for my my faulty memory. I can never quite recall who I bump into on these nights at the gambling halls.
Sorry, I'm thinking about how I want to play this.
What would you like to achieve? Do you want to twist this around and get some info out of him while he's running his mouth?
That's what I'm kind of thinking, and I'm just like, I was thinking back to originally what we heard from Irmina about Suker lining his pockets. Magistrate Drake is now in head, but what else could I potentially?
You do have a little bit of insider information if that would give you some leverage. Like you have learned through Iramina that Suker is not just sort of taking the ceremonial custodian position that nobles get. It's like a badge they get to wear, and like people don't generally do much with it. But he's a Severosi, and Severosi is like they live out in the wilds of their country without lightning barriers, and they have horses that eat ghosts and shit, and like he's out in the Lost District doing something, or she implied that he was like digging up people's treasures and shit, or in some capacity. Right. So that's definitely something that is some juicy gossip that people don't.
Okay, then perhaps. And where is this place called, by the way? You mentioned outside of the.
Outside in general is called the Deathlands, but this place is death, as like deathlands. Okay.
Deathlands.
Just for the obvious reason, but the specific place is the Lost District. There used to be a district of the city over there, but they closed down the lightning barrier, and it's stuck outside in the wilds now.
Okay. So yes, this is how I wish to gain information. Assuming that I know this, I think maybe I would say, what's the guy's name again?
Lanik, yeah.
Sorry.
That's good.
So maybe I'd lean in and I would say, Lanik, you're so adorable. You mean to tell me that Gustav Circle is gonna make his way out of the Deathlands to come for little old me as a method to try to confirm his location?
Oh, you want to see if he's actually living out there or yeah, okay.
Right.
Yeah, gotcha. Yeah. Sure. Feels, I mean, you tell me what action you're rolling. It feels like a sway
A
to me, like
sway, I think
you're tricking him into
Yeah,
saying too much.
definitely a sway.
Cool. So you're gonna gather info with sway. I don't think, like, I think this is a standard downtime roll that isn't. You can go in the thing. You can put risky standard for the thing, but
Okay.
it's just easier to do it that way.
Okay.
And unless you want to push your luck at all, you're just going to get information out of this guy and part ways and like slip away.
Yeah. That I'm not going to do any sort of modifier to the roll. I just
You don't want to do anything crazy.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Gather away.
And yeah.
Oh shit! Rolling the sixes tonight.
Yeah.
Very
Maybe
nice.
Last week.
Sweet. So on a 6, when you gather info, you get good information, like clear information, and you can ask me follow-up questions. So I think we're actually a little over for our break now. So let's take our break and then think about what you want to ask. Now you're going to ask me as the GM, like you get stuff out of this food. And I'll answer questions, but it doesn't have to be like you asking him.
Right. Okay.
You know what I mean?
And how do I have a number of questions?
With a 6, you ask one, and then I'll give you a complete answer, and you can ask me a follow up to or whatever. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And on your character sheet, there's a list of sample questions. Particularly in the PDF, if you go to the PDF for the spider on page 44, down the lower right-hand corner, there's like spider style questions.
Okay, I'll take a look at those.
Want to ask. All right, so we're going to take our break. We'll be back in a few minutes, and we'll get to the information gathering.